Anthony Ejiofor. I'm a professor of microbiology at Tennessee State University. And by the grace of God, I'm the Executive Director of World Igbo Congress. That's my background.
Well, I just observed that the 14th edition of the World Igbo Congress Convention holding in Tampa, Florida, as an executive director, my mind tells me that you are supposed to play a role. I didn't see you there at all. So what was wrong, or why were you not there?
It is really an unfortunate situation that none of us anticipated or wished for Igbo people. Like last year when you all were in Detroit, Michigan, I planned and executed that convention. Even the brochure was made in Nashville and shipped. I did all that. First time we had a top quality convention. This year turned out to be a little different because it's election year. And things are scrutinized through all kinds of prisms, especially the political prism. I fully understand that my position is apolitical. I try to make it so. But at the same time, I also have to reach out to everybody across the board. I see myself as a bridge builder. And I expected those I'm working with in the administration to understand that, and therefore not create boundaries for me. I am not supposed to inherit anybody's prejudices, and in the attempt to do that, sometimes you are misunderstood, and accusations are leveled against you. So this year, I set out like I did last year to improve upon the convention that we had last year. Midway, by February, things started, when elections started heating up, things started changing, and attention, our focus was being laid on the election rather than the convention itself. You will notice that, like you rightly pointed out, I wasn't there. If you looked at the program, I produced the program, all right, the brochure, but my name is not there, not anywhere, unlike last year. Before then, the contract that I negotiated and signed, because I have been identified with perceived enemies, this happened to be personal friends that I had known even before I came into office. Because I identified with perceived enemies, I should not be dealt with anymore, though I was doing the planning and everything. Even the program, the brochure that was used was also produced in Nashville. The program itself, I prepared it more than 2 months ago because I thought that people should have an idea of what's going to take place even before they took off from their locations. The administration sat on it, they just released it a few days ago, yet I produced it. And then they started excluding me from the meetings, planning committee, and so I told that I didn't want any aggression. I didn't want any quarrels. So I stayed away. So as you can see, even all the sponsorships, I arranged them. The invitations, I arranged them, all of them from beginning to the end. But then when the program came out, my name was not there. I thought it was funny. And because I thought it was funny, I needed to I have some personal dignity. I didn't want a situation, whoever thought of excluding me completely could also be abrasive or violent, so I decided to stay away completely. Even though I negotiated the hotel, all the complimentary rooms, every room that is there, I did the negotiation. 2 trips from Nashville to this place, and then back and forth. So these are not normal times, and this is simply because of the elections. Getting into office at all costs. That's what it is.
Is it the role of the executive, your role, to do these type of contract negotiating for hotel, or is it somebody else's role?
Thank you, sir. I wish I had prior knowledge of this. Maybe I would have come with not just the Constitution, my contract.
Okay, that's right.
I have a contract, and a number of things are listed that I'm supposed to do. about 9 items, okay, that I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm sure that you all know the corporate world. This is a non-profit organization. Apart from being a professor, I also own a company, a non-profit organization, so I understand what goes on there. I have an executive director in my company who runs programs and things like that. An executive director is not the same as fundraising officer. It's a different thing. Fundraising is one out of 9 items that I'm supposed to be covering. And officially, when I became executive director in 2006, the current administration dissolved what used to be the National Convention Planning Committee. It was dissolved. And what did they do? The chairman, in an executive meeting, said every function of that committee is now moved over to the executive director. Did that for Boston. I did that for Detroit. There was no problem. Then election year, the problem arrived.
That's within the boundaries of the Constitution.
Was that? You know what I'm doing?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Within the boundaries of the Constitution. So I've been doing that, and like I said, for the past 2 years. So I didn't see anything different this time.
Yes, I remember sometime a few months ago, I was in Boston, Ohio, for the board meeting.
Cincinnati.
That's right, Cincinnati, Ohio. And in fact, most of us foresaw this thing coming that just happened, because they almost came to blow. Dr. Ugoji and Charles, you know, and I thought between that time and now, this thing had been resolved. But all of a sudden, the whole thing just erupted again. So where do we go from here?
Sir, you used the word all of a sudden. I would be a little more careful in using that word. You said that was in March.
That's right.
We were in Cincinnati.
That's right.
And
I
we came to blows.
Resolved it.
No. That was just the beginning of it. You know, it got worse as we approached the election. The shenanigans that you observed was simply making sure that certain affiliates are in position, or certain people are put in place, like the Electoral Committee. That was the imbroglio that you were talking about. The Electoral Committee.
That's right.
Was the issue of Electoral Committee. And the way they were nominated was not constitutional. They were supposed to be elected by the board, by the board of directors. They weren't, but the plan had been made, packaged, and then the executive presented. And another aspect of the Constitution is that they have to be there, present. Those who are, but they weren't there, yet the executive bulldozed their way, that was what led to that fracas you were talking about. And it wasn't just Ugoji that you mentioned. One of the revered people we have in Nashville, I come from Nashville, that's where I live. One of the pillars of Igbo society in Nashville, Chief Ebuja, was dressed down by the secretary. I did tell you, it's an abrasive way of doing things. He dressed him, insulted him in the public. This information filtered back to Nashville, and Nashville people didn't like it one bit. I told the chairman, that was a mistake. You are going to lose Nashville. And that's exactly what happened. And I live in Nashville, so now I'm an enemy. That's the way it is.
So why didn't we take steps to invoke the provisions of the Constitution when your responsibility, constitutional responsibility is being infringed upon?
Thank you, sir. That is one problem we have with this administration. You just mentioned the case of Ugoji. Ugoji was irrepressible. He stood up, he wanted to challenge it. They shouted him down. He got frustrated, got annoyed, packed his things and left. And that's the pattern for everybody. And that's how I got into the crossfire. Because I said, I called and I said, Chairman, this is not the way to run this thing. And they didn't like it that I asked such questions. And that's where we are now. So when you say, when you talk, when you raise your voice, then you become an enemy. The next thing, you'll be fired. Yeah, people have been fired. About 4 people have been fired since then. 3 or 4 people have been fired since then. just for raising their voices. And this is a non-profit organization.
Go ahead.
As a non-profit organization, how many times has this organization been, by law, the organization is supposed to be audited? Since you became an executive director, how many times, when was the last time the organization was audited?
Well, thank you. You tried to reframe it to say, when was the last time?
That's right.
I would say, has it ever been audited? That's part of the friction that we are having. You said, my responsibilities. But internally, there is, from the very first meeting I had with the executive, there have been some tussle who should do what. And when it comes to things like auditing and things like that, they said, lay your hands off it. So the financial secretary and whoever will do the auditing. And we've never had any. Right now we've been pursuing membership of the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. I've pushed it to a level now. If I knew this, I would have given you the papers. The last letter I got from them 2 weeks ago, everything is set for your admission into the membership, but we must have at least your latest audit report. I passed it on to the executive, and we don't have it. We are hanging on in the cooler. So it's a problem. We don't have audit reports. It's not that nobody has said it. People have been saying, let's have an audit. Let's have an audit. We don't. Not to talk about, like, at meetings, you have treasurer passing out account information to people. Nobody sees it. That's where we are.
Let me ask you something in reference to the perception now of World Igbo Congress. Is World Igbo Congress now a split organization? From your own perspective, is it now a split organization?
I wish I could say no with a note of finality, because but there is plenty of room to prevent the final cataclysm. There's plenty of room to do that. And I can assure you that nobody in that hall will stand in the way of that opportunity. The reason we arrived where we are today is that all attempts to mend fences failed up till 5 p.m. on Wednesday. All our efforts to get all sides to see reason and how this can. But the executive believes that we have the power. We have the power of coercion. We have whatever. Therefore, there's nothing you can do. If you do more than is expected of you, you'll be fired. So that has been the problem. So getting the executive side, and I'm laying emphasis on that, and if you want, I can call names, but a camera like this will not be very nice. But the executive side has not been forthcoming. It's either you agree or you are out. That is the way it is.
Tampa Bay is one affiliate out of 17 affiliates, and the host for this World Igbo Congress convention now. Do you see a problem in Tampa Bay or this affiliate not being or welcoming those who came from so far away?
There's a big problem. And at some point, I let the president speak to this. But I can also come in at some point, at this stage, based on my own experience. In 2003, we hosted this World Igbo Congress Convention in Nashville. I was the chairman of the planning committee. And I do know Dr. Landon Ejiofor was the president at that time.
Right.
I do know that we opened an account, not even a joint account, okay, because at that time, the national, they share profit, but not liabilities. So we opened an account, we ran that account, it was our show, everything. When you talk about being host, you should be host unfettered, unrestricted, all right? Tampa would have pulled out of World Igbo Congress a long time ago. The president is here, I'm sure you'll be a witness. Sometime he came to Fort Lauderdale, board of directors meeting, just to see things for himself, so that you have story to tell his people in their effort to pull out of World Igbo Congress. then he listened to me. He listened to the speech I made. He listened to my presentation on the economic emancipation we were talking about. And that was why they changed their minds. They said, we're not going to withdraw anymore. And I started working with them closely from then. I felt that as hosts, they should have the opportunity to really host us. You go to other places, they bring coal and us, they welcome you. And so they did everything they could to do just that. But remember, as I told you something about contract changed. The contract I signed in February was changed in late July without information I was not told, just because I've been identified as belonging to the whatever group they assigned me to at the time.
When you say change contract,
okay,
you change the contract value or change the
no. I signed the contract. They took my name out of it and left instruction. So when I called to get update, they said, we have instruction not to talk to you. I said, okay, I called the higher powers with Hayat Regency, and they said, yeah, Charlie Chikeze wrote. And he said, no, he said, you are attorney. I said, who's our attorney? He said, the attorney of World Igbo Congress. He used a letterhead that says, CC Chikeze Esquire. So the hotel panicked. They thought it was. We have a clause in that. We have a clause in that contract on page 5 that says that this contract cannot be changed except by written consent of the people listed on page 1. Who are the people listed on page 1? Ralph Alderman for the hotel, Anthony Ejiofor for World Igbo Congress. Yet you went in and changed it without informing me. For me, it was an insult that I had to call. One, Heather Brandt told me, we've been told not to talk to you. So I called Ralph Alderman, who was the big boss that I had talked to. So I felt alienated, I felt insulted, I felt bruised. That is not the right thing. I called the chairman. Do you think it's normal? If you wanted to take control, why not call me? I'm answerable to you. Why not call me and tell me, I want to take control? And then if I refuse, that becomes a different thing. But you pulled the carpet under my feet and you did not mention it. Okay, it didn't end there. In order to take over the instrument of coercion completely, they removed Tampa also as contact people. Now, these are the hosts. They went to the hotel to look at the rooms that I negotiated, to look at the rooms so that they'll be able to assign functions to each of the rooms. The chairman of their logistics committee, Dr. Mufaro, went there. They told him you can't. And he tried to insist, oh, we are the hosts. They said, call Charlie Chikeze in New Jersey and obtain permission. He said, how can I do that? They called security, walked him out. That's one. How can a host not have access to the place they can host you? That is ridiculous. It's never been done anywhere. That's one. Two, accounts. Recently we decided that instead of saying that national shares profit but not, it's not fair to the hosting organization. So from Detroit, we started, actually from Boston, we started experimenting something new, 50-50. We almost perfected it in Detroit. So this is the second place we are actually trying it out. 50-50, whether it is profit or loss. Okay? So, and normally part of the memorandum, the content of the memorandum of understanding is that this account will be opened, the host will bring 50% of the money there, actually 10,000, that was the figure, and the national will bring 10,000. Now, this account, the president kept hammering on this. Let's open this account, let's open this account so we can start expenses. As usual, most of the time I use my money to start running conventions way ahead. By the time the budget comes out, or by the time this memorandum of understanding is signed, I must have spent several thousands. Okay, so in this particular case, they were told to bring their own 50%. And this time, suddenly they are talking about $35,000, $41,000, some $800. And the host organization said, wait a minute, this is not in the contract that we have seen, the one that I signed. How did this money come about? Okay, the memorandum of understanding has discovery clause on it. We have, if you paid any money into that account, we have to have photocopy of it. Okay, they said, send us photocopy because they told them they had paid in $35,000. So, okay, give us the photocopy of it. If you fax it to us, then we'll go and pay in our own $35,000. That's one. Two, we know that the original contract did not say anything about down payment. When did this arise? If it arose after you changed the contract, we have to have the new contract for us to feel that we are part of it. And we have the new contract. Even at that, you have to convince us the reason why we should even pay in, because we were not part of the change of the contract. We were not part of the negotiation that is forcing you to put in 42,000. That was where the problem. As I speak with you, they still don't have that memo. They still don't have that check. They still don't have nothing. And the Council of Elders waded into it several times. There was one meeting they had. You all were on that meeting. They came in, the chairman, the secretary, and the assistant secretary, as well as Bunji, the attack dog. All of them pounced on everybody on the ground, insulted everybody, and hung up. Okay? The Council of the Elders continued, called them again the same night, and talked with them. Still, nothing. So they have waded in several times. Then they came to the Tampa people and said, give us this opportunity, extend it for, they kept extending it until this past Wednesday. Tampa said, once you give us one, we have to have our name as contact people so that we'll be free to go in. We have to have unfettered access into the place. We have to have that a photocopy of that check, and we have to have a copy of that contract. As I speak with you, they still don't have it. So by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, which was the deadline, so officially, since we have no access to these things, we cannot be zombies. We are pulling out. That's why we have the stalemate. I know they hurt for the wonderful opportunity they have to host Igbo people that is being blown. They can't utilize it because of this wedge. So look at it very critically. You'll find that it is not Tampa. It is not any group. But the people that they felt that they have the tools, the forces of coercion, these are the people that have remained recalcitrant on this. And that's why we are where we are.
Let me...
I'm sorry I took...
No, it's okay. Let me thank you for a few seconds and give us a moment. We'll go to commercial and come back with the president of the local chapter of this World Igbo Congress. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Very good, thank you. My name is Mekowul from Anambra State. I'm a pharmacist by profession. I've been a pharmacist there. I've worked in different level of, different corporate level. Own a clinic of mine right now that also has a pharmacy in it, in addition to the management clinic.
You are the chairman.
Yes,
of,
I'm the president of Igbo Association Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I joined the organization about 8 years ago, and my decision to join the organization was to impact on the organization those things I do outside the organization. The determination to make things happen regardless of odds. And that determination was nothing but humility, service to the people. I think Dr. Okonkwo, who is sitting right there, can collaborate this. Because when I came into the organization, and since I joined the organization up until today, all I've done was to show that sometimes one individual can make a difference, How do we get to where we are today?
Perhaps the question would be not so much how you got there, but what happened that you are now at this position?
Yes, thank you very much. We started planning for the convention very well with the national headquarters, which is the executive, so to speak. in addition to the executive director, I was the one that secured the hotel or found the hotel and informed them that I have hotel available. And he himself, even he came and saw the hotel, then went back, then came back again with the executive director. We all went to discuss the contract. After the discussion, he was the one that finalized the negotiation. When I mean him, I mean Dr. Ejiofor was the one that finalized the contract. And the contract was signed with my name as a contact person. And we continued to work together up until, again, so-called perceived enemies. Up until at some point, the chairman felt that I was supporting somebody who is in competition with his interests. Therefore, that I'm no longer somebody to be trusted. Should it be that way? No. What we did was, I pleaded to him for us to do whatever we can to make the convention a success, regardless of what our differences may be. We made several efforts that didn't work. However, when I found out, when my chairman for the logistics, that was how I found out that my name was not on the call, was taken out. Went to the hotel to check the rooms, and he was humiliated. At that point, I called the chairman and I asked him in a very humble way, why was my name taken out? We are hosting this convention. At least our name should be there in case if we have a need to go there, ask questions, or put something there, do anything that is part of preparation, that we should have unfettered access to the hotel. He said, why should my name be there? To explain to him reason. I said, well, sir, this is a joint venture, let's not forget that. 50-50 joint venture. And in any corporation that I know of, if you have a 50% interest, you should have certain level of control. Regardless of the way the Constitution may have worded it, that 50-50 joint venture means 50-50 control. I would appreciate it if you can put me back into the contract so that we'll be able to work together. That didn't work. Of course, he accused me of having a midnight meeting with this person, with that person, and all that.
That would be opposition candidates.
Exactly. That would be his opposition candidate. Which, again, I found very preposterous because, politically speaking, you can have engagement with anybody you want in any free society without being harassed by any individual because he needs your support. So I guess that's part of the issue. But to me, the central issue hangs on three things. One, our name, the Tampa name, must go back to the contract. We discussed it very nicely, several times, pleaded. He didn't listen. We had an executive meeting, gave him date and time that they must go back there, or else we'll pull out of the convention. We did. And even he was very abrasive to the people that I sent, because at some point I felt maybe it was me that is making things difficult for him. Let me send my VP, my whip, and our advisor to talk to him. Maybe he can listen to them. And he continually refused to listen to them, continually questioning them why, to explain to him why they want my name to go back in the contract. In fact, my advice was, at some point, fed up with the question, I had to retort by saying to him, explain to me why it's important that you take his name off the contract. So, but anyway.
Did you ever get an answer to that?
Up until today,
Okay.
did not get any answer.
Okay, just so that we can expedite time. You mentioned 3 things that you see.
The second thing is, you said you paid $35,000. According to the MOU, which was never signed because we have issues with the MOU, there are areas of the MOU that we couldn't agree on. When we discussed it, we agreed on some. That very low area that we couldn't agree, the General Secretary was supposed to clean it up and send it to us for signature. That was not done. Up till today, that MOU was not sent to us. So, the check, I said if you paid the money, we need a copy of it so that we will be able to show it to the House, show it to the executive, so that they know the reason why I'm writing a check for $35,000. He said, Donald, trust me. I said, it's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of we are in joint venture and we have to go according to the provision that was on that you're supposed to provide me an account for receipt of your expense. We requested that so many times, that was not done. Okay.
So as far as you're concerned, you were following the process?
Exactly.
The constitutional process, I guess you could call it the constitutional process for WICs. You were going along with the process?
What I'm going along, number one, the process, realistically, if we want to talk about the constitutional process of WIC as far as the convention goes, that constitutional process was violated because the Constitution says that the board shall appoint the convention planning committee that will work with the hosting chapter. That was not done. It became a self-appointed. That's a problem. And like every single item, firing of the elected chairman of the Electoral Commission, that he himself appointed without due process. We approved
and replaced them.
Yes, we approved it, hoping that that would, take care of the matter. In Harrisburg, they made presentation. Every information containing on how to do the election, the process was in there, qualification was in there. When it was presented, nobody, the chairman was there, secretary was there, legal advisor, assistant legal advisor was there, everybody was there. Nobody, not even one single person, not even the other 2 members of the commission, raised any objection after the presentation. So why do you suddenly finally comes in to turn around and fire this person without even the board consent? The board supposed to make that decision.
What's the third factor?
So the third factor is sending us the copy of the contract that was signed so that we see the copy, the contract, to see whether the 35,000, because I asked him, I said, did this contract change or is it the same one? He said it was the same one, the only thing that changed is signature. I said, then where did the $35,000 come from? He said that's what the hotel wanted. So I said, we need a copy of it, we need a copy of the contract before we can do anything. None of those for 3 weeks. I begged for this. None of this was given to us. And when we gave him deadline, he didn't meet the deadline. The Council of Elders interjected, appealed to me to give them another day for them to resolve this matter. They tried with him, they couldn't. Once the next day came, it was 5 o'clock.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, we put a press release informing the world we've pulled out of the convention because of these factors that I listed.
Okay.
If you go now and you read the summary, it's right there.
So how are you not worried? What I mean by you, the Cultural Association of Tampa that is supposed to be the, are you not worried with this development where many people from all over the world have come to attend this convention? Don't you feel that these people who have come, they feel embarrassed by your action?
No, I feel, rather I sympathize with them. I seriously empathize with them for the pain they went through coming here. But what I don't feel sorry about is our actions. Our actions were motivated by the chairman who took it upon himself to dictate every step of the way without any regard to common rule of law.
Okay. Go ahead.
It would appear from what you are saying, even with the executive director, it appears that these people, the chairman and the secretary, were riding roughshod of the organization. And do you people realize that you have some powers too? I mean, what action did you take to reap this? I mean, this is not the first time the man went, against the Constitution. Has there been any attempt to impeach, to call his attention that, I mean...
using constitutional provision, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question because that was one of my biggest frustration about the whole process. Why the board? I didn't actually get involved in attending board meetings, not until last year. I tried to leave because the way our constitution, the Tampa Bay Association, the Igbo Association Tampa Bay, the way our constitution is structured is that whoever is representing us, their time run concurrent with the time of the week. That way we cannot keep electing. Otherwise the way it works is once their time runs out, the president at the time took over one position and then we nominate and elect another person to make it to go to the board. So I didn't really start going to that not until last year, and I started because of the fact that one of our board member had to travel to Nigeria on assignment and has been there for almost going to a year right now. So that was the one reason why I started. The other reason why was to go there as an observer, because I have already started to suggest to them that there is no added value in belonging to WIC. The WIC is it's a dormant organization that is not contributing anything back home that we need to pull out, because you have to have a reason why you belong to an organization, and I don't see justification for us to stay. But after I went and saw his presentation, I came back. I wrote about 3 pages of report of the meeting, which I presented in detail to the organization, and I said to them, I think with what I saw today that Dr. Anthony Ejiofor presented, there seems to me a light at the end of the tunnel, and we want to be part of that.
23 affiliates. How many of them would you say are on your side, so to speak?
We have right at this very minute somewhere between 15 to 17 affiliates. And when we talk about affiliates, we're talking about actual affiliates. We're not talking about affiliates that are made up of 2 people. Like the second, his affiliate, if you can call that affiliate, it's only one. The Bonji, Boniface Eguzo in Harrisburg, his affiliate is probably not more than 4 people or 5. if you can call that affiliate. Then, our chairman, with his current situation in Texas, is really more like a person with that does not belong to any affiliate. So, and that was also part of the problem, because for him to go through the qualifying process, because of his problem with his affiliate, he probably won't get the endorsement for him to go forward.
We're going to...
we go into Gabon. Gabon was not even was illegally admitted into the organization. He is the chairman of admission committee. So this is an affiliate, and again, it's one man's affiliate. So then we talk about New Jersey. So when you look at this, whatever is left, you can't really, the only thing left that is not part of this very movement we're talking about right now is Southern California and Dallas. Okay? And who knows? Those two affiliates may change their mind tomorrow. They are the only one, otherwise the rest really does not make any relative difference. So we have the number to present to Igbo, to Ndi Igbo. This is the people that will do what you hope to see from your sons and daughters in the United States.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
And we'll go back to the executive director as well, because of time. Could you please recognize that there are many people from all around the world that are here today? Would you look in this camera right there and talk to them, because they are here on your ground, wanted to be entertained, welcomed, just shown some affection or something. Talk to them and tell them whatever it is that is in your mind. You tell them.
Yes, thank you so much, and that's a very wonderful opportunity. The situation is not a situation that I love so much to be part of, but I was dragged into this. I was pushed to a point of no choice. We had very good plan to entertain all our brothers from all over the world. But the chairman of World Igbo Congress took it upon himself to say that we, the host, that's supposed to host the World Igbo Congress, are strangers in our own house. And I do not know anybody who would allow somebody to come to his house and throw him outside and take over his house and probably go into the kitchen and cook and bring the food and give to him. I'm sure that every Igbo man that really look at this from a perspective of somebody who is put in my own situation will do the same thing I did. There's nothing that we didn't do to prevent a situation like this from occurring. And again, every effort to make it happen failed, and we had no choice. When security are instructed not to allow us to do this or do that, except people carrying rumors, lies around to make Tampa look bad, I would hope that someday they will have opportunity to visit again. In fact, let me close by saying that somebody from California that I don't even know who that person is called me on Wednesday. Actually, excuse me, on Wednesday, and said to me, I have a sister and brother in the hotel. They haven't been to the United States before. They are hungry. Do me a personal favor. Is there anything you can do for me? I said to him, don't worry about that. I take care of it. I sent somebody to the hotel to go and pick them up, take them to my house, and they were entertained. I don't know who they are, but I thought that since they came here for us, I have obligation to make them feel comfortable and welcome. Thank you.
The Chief Executive Officer of Abia State is here, Governor T.A. Former Governor of Imo State is here. These men are going to be, and some other people, high-level others. Will you be at that event on Saturday night? The cultural night over there?
The banquet.
The banquet. Will you be in attendance? Will you urge your affiliates to be there?
No, I will not be there, and I will not urge my affiliates to be there. And we cannot be there because we are not welcome. The chairman, Mr. Onwuchekwa, have made it clear that we are not welcome when he took our right to be a real host of the convention. I think at that point he also said that we are not welcome. Again, I would deeply apologize to every Igbo man, everybody, regardless of whether an Igbo man or not an Igbo man, that came to this convention with hope that this would be the place they can go home and tell the story. I would sincerely apologize to them, but also say to them to understand that this is something that was not of our own making. If every blame, if every truth really needs to be told, the chairman shoulders all responsibility for whatever happened.
Will you participate in the election?
Again, I can't speak whether we can or not, but I can tell you that yes, we will not. And we will not because this a chairman, this is the executive that has done everything possible to make sure that the election is manipulated. And we cannot participate in something that is not transparent. When the chairman of Electoral Commission was fired, and in a meeting that wasn't a meeting, somebody nominated somebody, and without giving a chance for question, a vote was called. The same individual that nominated that person was saying approve, approve, approve to all affiliates mentioned. And in spite of all this, when that meeting was over, the chairman called me right away, and I said to the chairman openly, bluntly, that this is fraud, and you cannot allow this to be published. It's a pure fraud. And you know who was saying approve, approve, approve. And we all know who the person is. Please don't do that. Don't let the secretary publish it. The secretary went ahead and published it. And even after that, when I confronted him again when that came out, he said nobody has ever, no affiliate since then has sent a disclaimer that they didn't say approve. I said, we are all adults and we want to be civil. Let's try to go back to where we started.
Final thought. Sir, could you, in your own now, talk as the executive director?
Yes, sir.
For Walipa Congress, talk to Ndigbo who are here now, and in as few minutes as you can.
My people, I say welcome to you. Welcome just in language. Welcome to Tampa. Welcome to World Igbo Congress. We wish we had the opportunity to present to you what we had in mind, what we had planned up till Wednesday, August 27th. All those were what? Aborted by the inability of the executive to see that there are two sides to a coin. The executive has made it impossible for the hosts to really play host in our traditional way. The executive made it impossible. For example, an executive director whose name does not show up in any part of the program, that does not sound well. And then they invited me to a meeting yesterday, and they've been calling me to come up because now they have a problem. They want me to come in and take over again. And I said, my name is not anywhere. I don't have the assigned role, so I'll stay away. Handle it the way you want to handle it. So my people, we apologize that this situation has come to this, but we wish that it never did. And we are looking forward and hoping that the administration, and when I say administration, I'm talking specifically of the chairman and the secretary, because these are the people who have put the wedge. I'm hoping that, because the other side, they are willing and ready at any time to ensure that there is peace. But they're not giving the window, they're not giving the room for that peace to take place. So I apologize for what is going on. But World Igbo Congress, from the office of the executive director, has a lot of plans for Igbo land. We have made contacts with the world for them to finance projects in Igbo land on build, operate, and transfer basis. We have a series of projects we have planned. This administration, unfortunately, does not appear to be interested in such things. They're more interested in politics. You asked a question at some point about how come there were like impeachment or something like that. One thing is this administration has perfected two strategies. One, divide and conquer. So they call board members one by one. Okay? Therefore, you have to owe allegiance to them.
Go ahead.
So no allegiance, you are in trouble. So this is why they don't raise their voices. Two, if you do ever raise your voice, they have an attack dog. You mentioned his name, Bunji, Boniface Eguzowa. He lives in Harrisburg, one-man affiliate. This man, actually, when you say Bunji, the person who is really wearing the mask is Charles Chikeze, the secretary. He writes and decimates you. It doesn't matter who you are. They have attacked me. They have attacked all well-meaning Igbo people on the pages of on the internet. How can you survive under such things? And a decent person does not want to be insulted. Therefore, they keep quiet. That's why they don't raise their voices. That's what's going on.
I would like to thank you very much for spending this moment, both of you. We hope that somewhere down the line there's some resolution. Just quickly, in about 10 seconds if you can. Is there a possibility of resolving this problem?
Oh yeah, at all times. As long as they have an open mind. I mean the chairman and the secretary.
This is Chief.
What's your prediction?
Prediction?
As things stand now, what do you expect?
My prediction is that they will not agree.
So what do
The
you
chairman
think?
and the secretary.
If they don't agree, what do
We
you
will keep trying. On our own side, we will keep trying.
Definitely.
This is Chief Okitike Ajuluchukwu of Nigerian TV Online, along with other press from Guardian newspaper and news press from New York. We thank you very much for the time that you have spent. God bless you and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.